Okay, next one against Red Deck wins. In the middle of it, I missed the start of this, but we can recap what happened. I was on the play, had a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, which gets the better skull here. My opponent had a turn 1 Soulscar Mage, followed by removal for the Stoneforge Mystic, and now gets in for 2 damage. So far so good, or so bad for me. Here I need something. I have something. Okay, Tireless Tracker. It's not kitchen things level good, but it's okay. I think it will be dead sooner than later, but I have to offer my opponent at least something. There's a Fogbolt, and the Pyromancer which he deployed here gets him another token. And already his board is starting to look pretty impressive, while mine has nothing to offer but 3 lonely lands. I have Better Skull, a Crystal Vein, an Acidic Slime, a Crop Rotation. Let's see what I do here. I fetch for a Plains. No, I don't fetch for a Plains. I take that back. I'm really hoping the mono-red matchup is not too bad, because I'm kind of testing this deck as an option maybe for the Tiki Cup, which is coming up soon in Frankfurt. And if the mono-red matchup is good, then that's one cornerstone to pass for a deck in the Highlander meta game. The other two are Is It Good versus Is It, and Is It Good versus 4-color Blood. At least personally, I think these are the benchmark tests your deck has to pass in order to be seriously considered a viable deck. Okay, I made a different play. I cracked the Crystal Vein for the Thragtusk, kinda moving my life points in a more convenient area. But still my board is not looking that pretty. Thragtusk already down to a burn spell. Okay, here's a rewind from my opponent. He realizes he can Faithless Looting first and then still make the exact same line he just chose. But maybe he will have a better option created by that Faithless Looting. We'll see if this is the case. The line is pretty good actually, because the Soulscar Mage will here grow to a 3/4 after Faithless Looting and the Burn spell, and will be able to attack through the Beast. So I don't think he will have a much better line, but he's still thinking maybe about which cards to discard. I can see a Mountain in his hand. This seems like an automatic discard almost, except when he's holding an high impact 4-drop spell like Koth of the Hammer, for example. Okay, let's see. I really like what my opponent has done with this deck. He kinda plugged in some cards that allow him to have a little bit of card quality, of card selection, like Faithless Looting and the 2/2 Looter. Seems pretty good actually, and also kind of scary. If Red Deck wins manages to overcome this weakness of it not being able to really manipulate the card quality of its draws, then it will become possibly the very best deck in the format. And here's the swing with the 3-4. I obviously can't block here. I have to keep the 3-3 alive in order to hold back his other attackers. Okay, here I'm fetching. I think I might go fetch for a land, crop rotate for maybe a soul land and deploy Batterskull. Could be a line I have here. Okay, here's the plains. Yep. There's the crop rotation, sacrificing the non-basic land because I don't really need double white, and this way I'm less vulnerable to Price of Progress. I get the City of Traders just to take no damage. The other option would have been Ancient Tomb, but Ancient Tomb against the red deck, not really what you want most of the time. Ah, okay, I'm not playing Batterskull, but choose to Acidic Slime his land, because I figure he might have a 4-drop as his last card, because he Faithless Looting last turn, and he is now maybe missing his 4th land. Could be something that is happening, and actually is exactly what was happened, but my opponent was lucky enough to top deck the 4th land to now deploy Hazoret, which is pretty good actually, being indestructible and having haste. He can attack now, otherwise there wouldn't have been any good attacks for him, which in turn poses a not so easy decision on me as to if I should block Hazoret or not. Taking 5 certainly is not a very good proposition. Also, if I not block here, what will I do next turn? Might be confronted with the exact same question then, so I might as well block here, jump here. Okay, and here I have my Batterskull, which again cannot block Hazoret. That is pretty impressive actually in this scenario. But Batterskull will at least threaten backswings and threaten to remedy the life lost by Hazoret attacks, which again would make my opponent think about attacking with Hazoret in the first place. So this is kind of a tricky scenario for both of us, but my opponent certainly has the edge here, because every spell he plays will create another elemental, which is good for him in the long run, and every non-spell he draws will enable his Hazoret's ability to ping me, and I cannot attack into an untapped Hazoret, and that's pretty bad for me. The more I think about it, the scarier it becomes actually. Hazoret is another card that is able to channel otherwise dead mountains into business. I really like the direction he has taken with his deck. So I have Nissa and Search for Tomorrow, so I can use my turn to search for tomorrow for a land and deploy Nissa and maybe distribute counters or make a plant. Distributing counters would lead to Nissa being dead by a Hazoret discard activation. Making a plant would lead to Nissa being dead to 2 activations, or maybe a rather courageous attack from my opponent. Not sure. Opponent is asking here if my City of Traitors will go to the graveyard, which it won't, because City of Traitors says if you play a land, sacrifice City of Traitors, and a land entering the battlefield does not trigger the city, so it sticks on the board. A nice little win here, which actually doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things of this match. Okay, I'm choosing to make a plant. Both options not spectacular, because a 5-5 Better Skull is not really that much better than a 4-4 Better Skull in the face of Hazoret. If I can somehow manage to equip the beast, I would have a 7-7, which then could attack and at least eat some of the board of my opponent while being blocked by Hazoret. Let's see what he got. Okay, he got a Hazoret activation on Manissa. No. What was it? Was it a flame javelin maybe? Okay. Must have been a 4 damage spell. And the passing of the turn. Excuse me. I have nothing but a Fintorn Elf and a Bayou left. Here I have kind of a window to equip my beast. I guess my opponent could have had Lightning Bolt or Fire Blast. I think these are the only cards that kill my beast in response to the equip, so it's pretty safe to do it right here. And I'm attacking in order to buff my life total. My opponent has a rather good block, I think, with Hazoret and 2 elementals, which he takes. I don't know if my attacking here is correct or if I should have just left it back on blocking defense. But on the other hand, I would then steadily and slowly bleed out to Hazoret's ability, which is also not a winning line. There's a Flame Rift, I think is the name of the card. Both players are dealt 4 damage. My opponent has another elemental through it. And I think... Okay, here's the discard guy. I really like this. I really like this filtering ability of his deck. Is that a Kitchen Finks? Okay, that's at least something. I mean, I'm still feeling pretty behind. But it's not the worst card to draw. That's for sure. I kind of remember, as impressive as Hazoret is in this situation here, I remember that my opponent discarded to his Faceless Looting Fiery Confluence because he was so eager to test out Hazoret and kind of forgot out of excitement that I had Better Skull in hand. And as good as Hazoret is, Fiery Confluence would have had me long dead by this time, I think. But nevertheless, the God is really performing, I think. And here I have to jump again with a plant, which is kind of a free jump. I mean, the plant could be a Better Skull equipped target, but I have 2 creatures. One of it is Kitchen Finks, which would create a 7/6 Better Skull. Actually, it's the other way around. Better Skull would make Kitchen Finks a 7/6. Oh, okay, and this is this is actually pretty brutal, because Soulscar Mage will turn the damage on kitchen things into -1/-1 counters, and therefore, and because of that, it doesn't come back. Pretty brutal, actually. Yeah, and this enables my opponent to get a massive attack in. I mean, I do not really have any good blocks here. There's the option of blocking the discard, the looter, but I guess I'm already so far behind that I have to top deck something very relevant, and something very relevant will likely be something very expensive, and therefore I might need the mana of my elves. Yeah, kind of pretty brutal that I didn't realize Soulscar Mage would kill my kitchen things for good. But you better learn in casual games than in a tournament, I guess. The whole thing was actually on board, because even the Hazoret activation would have been able to do this. Yeah, my opponent's taking it nice and slowly on the back of the god and its ability. I'm jump attacking into Hazoret to buff my life total. It's not the prettiest line of play, but I think I have to do it. I'm really looking for a good deck for Tiki Cup, because I cannot find a deck I'm very confident with right now. I mean, if the cup was tomorrow, I would likely be playing Izzet. But when you come up against another control deck, it's kinda a coin flip. Would really like to find some new broken deck which has a good matchup against red, against Izzet, and against 4-color blood. Don't know if such a deck exists, but doesn't mean you should stop trying to find it, I guess. Okay, here I have Demonic Tutor, which is okay. Will at least find an out to Hazoret in the form of Swords to Plowshares. Emrakul the Promised End would actually be a card that could win me this game, but I think I'm not able to cast it. I have 5, 6, 7 mana. have to have 6 different card types in my graveyard, which I certainly do not have. Pretty sure Sword Explosions is the best option. Can't think of anything right now. Even right now, that would be better. This deck has kind of problems against wide board states on the other side, like my opponent has right now with his myriad of elemental tokens. I'm lacking a sweeper. Maybe I should include something like Elish Norn. Elish Norn would be pretty busted on this board. Yeah, could be. Could be the right choice. Okay, the video is stuttering here a little bit. The battery of the notebook went low to the end of this game, but we will survive to the end of it. Pretty sure not me, but we as a whole will. Chandra's Phoenix is a pretty cool card. I really like it. I really hate playing against it, and I think it's one of the better cards in the red deck. I see some red lists without it, but I cannot understand why. An evasive flying haster is actually the perfect thing for red, and it also comes back from time to time. Yeah, my lights are starting to fade here. I think my only option is to equip my Llanowar Elf and hope he doesn't have a burn spell. You can see by how I'm moving, I'm already expecting the burn spell, and there it is. Okay. That were all the matches I recorded, and I will see you in the deck outro. Till then.